Well, thanks, Cassidy. Hey, we're excited to present uh, Renown software add-ons for Dynamics SL today. And Colin Walker is the director of Solomon Software UK and out of Australia today. And he's going to show us a series of project enhancements that really turn the really strong SL project costing into a full-featured uh, project management software, in my opinion. So really enhances budgeting, visualization of projects, being able to reassign projects to different project managers, and really takes SL to the next level. Just a little bit on SL. I mean, Microsoft is committed to supporting Dynamics SL through 2028. So we've got a good 7 years that we can count on legally. But I always like to point out that Microsoft has quit supporting older versions of SL. Like we still have some customers running Dynamics SL 6 version, which is well out of support. But Accunet can continue to support that product, well past the deadline for Microsoft. So with that said, in his great Australian accent, I'll turn this over to Colin Walker, who will walk us through these project add-ons and then also the VAT tax add-on, which might be coming for the U.S. as well if the Biden administration has their desires come true. Since we're moving so much to a green economy, it's harder to tax things on gas tax with electric cars and solar energy, and you can't tax the coal like you can consumption. So consumption tax, I'm afraid, is in our future, and we're prepared for that as well. So Colin, would you go ahead and take this over, and thank you so much for presenting.
Thanks very much, Michael. Everyone can see the screen. Is that right, Michael? All good?
All good.
Yeah, thank you. So firstly, what I would like to do is just briefly take you through a quick history of Renown and the products. Then a more detailed look at the Renown project suite, as Michael has said, and then a brief look at some of our other products, which is including the VAT tax module, and finish up with some Q&A to finish. We established Renown in 1989. We became a Solomon software partner in 1998, and over the next 17 odd years we installed in excess of 100 Dynamics SL systems in Australia. We had a major challenge with the change of our taxing system in 2000, which we'll cover later. But we had great success in implementing Dynamics SL systems into project-orientated companies, especially in the professional consulting industries, such as IT services, government departments, mining consultants, and business building and construction as well. Today we are now part of the Solomon Software UK group for Dynamics, and we focus on the Dynamics SL clients in Australia for supporting them, as well as our add-ons around the globe. One of our clients in Australia, just by example, is the Victorian Auditor General's Office. The auditing VAGO, as we call them, they're responsible for auditing all government expenditure by all departments, as well as any organisation in the state of Victoria, expenditure of any money that is granted to them by the state government. So they've been using this Dynamics SL and our system since 2002, and they have about 250 employees working at a higher level, but they subcontract to a large number of accounting firms around Australia to do the audit for them on each of their categories, covering off such things as hospitals, schools, any department, any construction work carried on behalf of the government. So an interesting organisation that's been working with Dynamics SL for nearly 20 years. When we looked at the Dynamics SL product back with the early adoption in the early 2000s, we looked at the project lifecycle, and basically you've got those 6 steps in front of you where we quote or bid for a job. We are successful, and so the project is started. We need then to resource that job with assigning consultants to do the work, and then we want to be able to accurately capture the time and the expenses associated with that project, giving us a chance to manage and review the accuracy of our work with our percentage complete capabilities and where we're at the project to budget. And then finally being able to bill and bill accurately and bill 100% of our work performed. When we spoke to customers about their previous systems, we found that the majority of them had an accounting system, and all their operations were run by Excel spreadsheets, 50-odd Excel spreadsheets. The problem that they had was that they were 2 separate databases. The operations and quoting was happening in Excel, and their financials were happening inside an accounting system, ERP system. So we looked at how we could combine that into a single system. So we developed the project management suite. So the project management suite really allowed us to improve the functionality of employees and project maintenance, as well as doing the budget process or the estimating and advanced budget process. We also improved the ability for project manager assignments and delegations to take place, as well as giving an interface for subcontractors to be able to enter their time cards directly into the system, and then accounts payable being able to pay them for their work performed and their expenses. So if we look at first the estimating and advanced budgeting suite, what we have done is to actually created a tree control on the left-hand side to give us greater visibility of our estimates. So we have the ability to have estimates defined at a work breakdown structure down to individual tasks, and broken down even within those tasks to labour, equipment, materials, subcontractors, expenses, etc. In each one of these lines, we can define the cost, the overhead, the charge, and we can either use markups by percentage or calculation, or even a manual entry to get that charge to be an accurate figure. So an estimator or someone doing the quoting has the ability to have really detailed costings at any level within that work breakdown structure. In the tree, we've been able, the tree control, we've given a further detail with a menu structure that allows us to add, delete and edit functions within that tree. We can look at it in a summary or by detail, and we've got the ability to drill down to any level within that tree, as well as the ability to copy and paste or cut and remove, and I'll show you a little bit more detail on that later. Within the copy estimate, just a quick overview. On the right hand side, you can call up an existing estimate with a version, and you can basically tick the tasks that you want to bring across to a new estimate. And on the left hand side, complete an estimate number with a version number, and move those sections across. So this gives us greater flexibility and accuracy when we do our budgeting process. Once we've the budget is in place, we've got detailed lines, which we said earlier can give us details about our cost rates per labour type, individual employee, or a generic labour charge, plus our materials and on-cost items. with markup either being by a manual markup or percentage or just a percentage markup, and that extends out to give us our full rate charge for our actual billing amount. So it gives us great detail in that regard. We can roll that up and give us just a section summary, so we can look at various stages within the project and roll that up to give us a more concise view. Within our markup, we've been able to create any number of markups that will affect, calculate our charges. We can have such things as overhead charges, on cost insurances and so forth, built in with our margins, so it's easy to add those markups, be they flat amounts, percentages or unit rates, to our estimates simply and quickly. We've also allowed for the import and export mapping from Excel spreadsheets. You know, we live and die by Excel spreadsheets, and we've been able to build the capability that some people preparing their estimates may want to do complicated or complex calculations in Excel and then import it into our estimating system. So we've allowed that capability as well. We're using the Crystal Info format. We've been able to build, pardon me, we've been able to build quote layouts, so you can have multiple quote layouts to be able to send out to your prospects or your clients, either with a covering letter or detailed within the project itself. So what I'd like to do now is just take you through a video, a quick video of those features. So what we're doing here is actually showing you the estimating maintenance screen. It has a similar layout to the project maintenance screen. We've been able to set up estimates. We can have a number of variations. We can have a number of revisions, and we can therefore copy those either to a project, or we can link it to a project as well. So once you do that copy function, it'll copy all the estimate lines to a project or another estimate. So here we're showing you how we're copying from a project or an estimate on the right-hand side, and we can populate that to a new estimate on the left-hand side. So we now would make a selection of a number of tasks, push that back to the project or the estimate.
So Colin, that's from a sub portion of the estimate or the entire estimate, right?
Well, you could be part of it or the whole lot. So now this video is showing us that pre-control on the left-hand side with the work breakdown structure, and on the right-hand side it's showing us the various types of operations, employees, and materials that we can identify to calculate our budget or our estimate from. It will integrate with the standard inventory control modules, as well as the controls for equipment maintenance. And it's showing now just the manual or percentage or markup calculation cost to our sell amount. It'll give you a full drill down on all tasks, breakdown within all tasks, and you can, as we said earlier, you can import or export from Excel using the buttons below. With the markup codes, you have any number of markup codes, and they will allow you to look at being able to add such things like insurance or any preliminaries to a particular estimate. Totals tab gives you a breakdown of all your costs to sell across those 6 main entities. Also got a notes and attachments capability, so we can attach notes, emails, photos, documents to the actual project. But basically now what I'd like to do is move on to basically project maintenance. Because we built the estimating front end, we needed to really enhance the design of the project's maintenance screen so that we'd have greater synergy between the budgeting and the project maintenance. So we added the tree control to that as well. We have the ability, as we could see, as copying budgets and creating projects from budgets or attaching them to projects. We wanted to be able to look at both cost and revenue on the same row of any operation. And we've improved the layout by adding additional fields, additional areas for attachments and notes, etc. So really enlarge the screen to give us a better experience. So if I look at the standard project maintenance screen, this would be familiar to you as users of the project series. And then I look at what we did with project maintenance. You can see that we've expanded it and created additional fields, took advantage of the buttons up in the header to allow us to control notes and files and attachments, as well as giving us additional description fields. So we've added some 50 new extra ID fields to give us greater flexibility in our project maintenance delivery.
Hey, Colin.
Yes.
One of our probably the most consistent request I get from customers is, I need a bigger project description field. I think a lot of customers would almost go with this product just to get that bigger description field.
Okay. So up the top we've got a larger description, and then you can also put down in the bottom right hand side an actual detailed project summary about what the project is about, etc., etc. So we're getting greater visibility in one screen. So that's I'm pleased to hear that, Michael. Thank you. The standard task maintenance screen is as you see it now. So once again, what we did was to add the tree control to that as well, giving us a greater visibility and flexibility when looking at our maintenance, task maintenance. We're same with our budgets, so the standard budget screen with the enhanced budgets from Renown, that tree control comes into our project maintenance screen when we review the budgets. So once again, giving a bit of continuity from estimating through project maintenance and a great deal of control and flexibility. The standard contract value and revenue value information on the project is quite limited. It's just really contract value versus revenue budget, etc. What we've done is to enhance that to give us a total cost and revenue across our actuals, our commitments, plus actual end commitments, as well as our estimate to complete and our estimate at complete. So a little bit more detail in that project amount screen. We also have the button down on the bottom right hand side for project net profit. So once again, you can drill through and view the project net profit screen from our project maintenance. The next thing I was going to do is show a video of the advanced maintenance, but if we're
Colin, if you're comfortable narrating that, let's run that from the U.S. side there, because I think we were chopping out your video just a little bit, probably sucking up your bandwidth. So
what we'll do, I'll run it. You can see it run, and I'll attempt to narrate over the top. Thanks.
It's pretty good for off the top of your head. I appreciate that. Cassidy, could you load up that video and take control of the screen?
Can you see that now happening?
Yeah, we can see it.
Okay. So this is showing the extra description field, the additional five actual managers fields, plus that project summary field down in the bottom right-hand corner. So over and above that, we've added a number of extra ID fields, and that additional information, as I said, there's some 50 fields that you can add, put on display, add to your calculations or your processes. So, and we've got code files if they're attached to actually populate those as and when required. So that's become a great advantage for our clients. This is the project count screen that I spoke of that looks at our cross actual and commitment plus our estimate to completion, estimate at completion. We can drill back down and go back and look at the estimate associated with that project. So you can go back and look at the details and what created the original budget within the project as well. Once again, as I said, the tree control is there within our task, giving us greater view and flexibility. Same with our project. So this is now just showing you the type of thing we can do with the menu, the right click to give us the details associated with our tree control. So you can look at each individual task or drill down to particular subtasks within that major task of development, or you can roll it up or down accordingly, or look at all the tasks associated with that particular project. So once again, it's just really taking us through, showing us different levels of the budget. So it gives us greater flexibility and ease of operation to be able to look at our budgets compared to our actuals. This is showing the just the right click on our tree control to give us the capabilities of doing our views, our copy and paste, etc. So this will take us through some of those buttons at the top. We've got a search capability. So the search capability we built is a bit like the report search or select capability. So we can select a existing project or search on a project by preemptive text. For example, it could contain RBS. You just load those projects, and it will come through and give you a list of all those projects with start with RBS, for example. This is just a simple project, and it has just analysis and implementation review. You could import this from Excel, as I said earlier, which are the Excel buttons at below, or you could do the advanced copy capability. So selecting an existing project and then saying we want to copy all the headers, all the notes, all the budgets, or just part thereof, and select what we want to copy. So if we just want to copy a particular segment of another project, then just select that and copy that across, and it will populate the tree control plus all the details below. So we can see all that information brought across from another project to the new project we're working on. And so once you've got that all there, all those details, the sub details are associated with the particular task. So what he's doing now is just to do a sales copy some sales information from an existing project. So we'll call up another project and we'll just paste the sales across. So this gives me a breakdown of all the tasks within the sales cycle and bringing that into the current project. It'll also bring in all the budgets associated with that as well. So you've got the capability of deleting if there's no live budgets associated with any of those areas, then you've got the ability to delete or add or remove tasks accordingly. So now it's looking at our detailed quotation, and you can see that you've got the ability to then say, well, I want to now copy from a budget, and I can copy from the budget and place it into the actual project itself. So it's saying that it'll fall into exactly the same structure that you've got with your account, sub-account, the structure within the previous project into the new project area. So it's now pasted that into the tree, and so now we've got that information in detail in the actual project as well. So both tasks and budgets being imported. So this is the notes and attachments icon that gives us the ability to add any number of notes. These notes can be controlled within folders, so you can actually set up your folders so you've got some sort of chronological order with your notes that you do on the project. You can also have various images, so if there's any information that you've captured as a byproduct of your work, or you can actually place, you can have photos or plans or any contracts, etc., in all common formats of PDF, Word, Excel, etc. It has the ability to have emails. You can actually create an email from within the project, type it up, and that will link to your normal Outlook through your SMPT link to Outlook. So your emails are embedded inside the project as well. Where you have details of budget information, you can drill down through the line to take you down to the individual details that are made up of that particular summary line. So once again, drilling. Hmm. Well, that's a quick walkthrough. I guess when this PowerPoint is put up on the website, Michael, people will be able to listen to the commentary from that. That'll be where we can go.
Yeah, we'll do that. It'll be up on the site, and I don't know if people can fully appreciate the ramifications of visualizing your project and doing this project management right within one system in SL. There's just all kinds of add-on project management software that our clients are using, and they're paying tens of thousands of dollars extra for a project management software that's still disconnected. You're still uploading and downloading the information and vendors and time, and this puts everything in one system, and it's just so much more powerful.
Correct. It's that old adage of one truth. That you have a single database with all your information. If those that can remember back in 2001, Microsoft released an interface between Microsoft Project and Dynamics SL to allow us to do budgeting in Microsoft Project, and then bring those budgets and resource planning into Dynamics SL. We demonstrated that to our clients, and they thought that was great. But then when we started to look at the end user, they didn't want another interface or another view of their data. They just wanted a single interface for all their information. So that really led us to put the estimating and advanced budgeting inside the Dynamics SL system.
Yeah, Microsoft Project was always too complicated for the average user. Maybe a program manager could handle it, but your average user would just be overwhelmed with that complexity.
Yeah, that's correct. The other area that we looked at was in the area of manager assignment and delegation. So we have within our customers, there's always been a certain amount of churn within employees, so project managers come and go. Also, project managers, they take leave, and we wanted the ability to be able to allocate or reassign tasks and employees from a project manager going on leave and giving it and delegating it to another manager for the duration of that leave, for example. So in this particular screen, we've got a delegation start date and an end date. We're looking at Kim, and Kim is going to take 2 weeks leave. And these are the projects and the employees that Kim is responsible for in regard to approving timesheets and approving budgets and billings, etc. So we can call up Jay on the right-hand side, and then we can just tick the boxes on the left-hand side of all the jobs that we want Jay to take over while Kim is on leave. So by doing that within the system, that gave a great deal of flexibility and added simplified the process of assignments and delegations within the system. We also looked at the issue where within our organisation, our customers as well, a lot of contractors or subcontractors would be employed project by project, and what we found was that there was a fair amount of work required to key their time and their work from their invoices that they were providing to accounts payable back into the project system. So by allowing the subcontractors to enter their time and their expenses directly via the standard time and expense entry screens within Dynamics SL, this allowed us to then accurately capture that information at the project level, but then have the ability to approve those times cards and those expense claims, and then automatically create an accounts payable voucher, though we could pay them from a check run or an online banking run out of accounts payable. So this once again simplified the process and made it easier for all those subcontractors to work with us on our projects. We also have provided for credit card import. So a number of our clients have corporate credit cards, MasterCard, Visa, Amex, Diners, etc. And you can obtain a flat file from those card providers, and we established a routine where we can import that in either as a summary statement for all credit cards into accounts payable, or we could import it into each individual employee's expense claim form, which then allowed those employees to review and probably define what is billable and non-billable within those expense claims into each of the projects for approval or for pre-processing before those expense claims were approved. This once again certainly improved the throughput and the accuracy of our expenses to our projects, and some of our clients had 1,200-1,400 consultants working there, all with a credit card, and certainly improved their processes and throughputs from that point of view.
One program note here, Colin. I want to encourage people to put questions into the chat box, and we'll handle those at the end.
Thank you. Because of the credit card input, we built an audit routine because it does take a couple of passes to get information correct. So with your approval and rejection of expense claims to your employees, the audit trail would give us a chance to review, represent, and when we're happy, then actually do the final import and update process. So a physical audit trail was provided for that process. Within the percentage complete, we found that there was a standard restriction within Dynamics SL to a single account category. So it wasn't possible to status, say, labour separate from materials or other expenses. So by us, we really allowed the revenue account budget to be calculated or processed separately, and that really improved the ease and efficiency of the operation. We could set percentages complete at a task level, or we could roll it up. We could have process multiple projects in a single batch, and we could calculate default percentage complete for both cost and revenue. And yet we still made sure that the module ensures that all updates within the tables and balances would be controlled by the core SL processes, such as the general ledger journal and release and post. So we made sure that those processes would happen. As I said, we wanted to be able to look at multiple projects in a separate batch. We have the opportunity to, with multiple projects, to have the bill with capability, or we may use separate projects for various phases of a particular job, or for change orders, etc. So by allowing multiple projects to load into a single batch, we get the holistic view of what we're doing in regard to those projects, or the total set of projects. We also allow for the calculation of percentage complete for both cost and revenue. So this allowed us to really look at a full breakdown, be able to see that both cost and revenue calculations for percentage complete, once again enhancing our billing routines. Billing and invoice layouts, this is within the standard Dynamics SL project series. You've got the flexibility to build any number of templates for your billing and an invoice, and we certainly used this capability to really help and extend the functionality of our clients. So you've got the ability to have time and materials. You can have time materials in foreign currency. You can have a breakdown of time materials by task and employee. And we use this internally ourselves. And this really removed the questions that were raised around our weekly or monthly billing, because we provided our clients with more detail about our consultants and what work they've done on their projects over the previous weeks. So once again, improving the throughput. And then utilising the standard Crystal Info to create and print those reports or send them electronically to our customers. So once again, taking us through the process. So in summary, as Michael said, it really extends the functionality of Dynamics SL in the project suite. And over the last 20 years, we've had excellent feedback from our customer base on the power of this software and how it gave them greater capability to manage their operations. Another small piece of software that we developed is the Renown Foundation Suite. So we had half a dozen odd utilities that we'd built up over the years as a result of demand from our client base. These include such things as just a batch or transaction reversal. So it was easy to create or recreate or reverse a batch that either to be released or a posted batch to make corrections and errors. We increased the capability of inquiry, especially around customers and vendors, with the ability to actually drill down and look at by document number or do a document search. We could do account reconciliation, especially around clearing accounts in the general ledger. So therefore, we could reconcile our debits and credits in any of those GL accounts. We implemented period to post locking very early in the piece before it became a feature. within Dynamics SL, and a number of our clients still use our period to lock facility today. We also we created advanced search, so using like Google style search, preemptive text in projects, vendors and customers, etc., so that it's easier to go and find information. And then also a print utility, so when you look at any of the Dynamics SL screens, you'd actually be able to get a list of all the reports that you can print from that screen. So just a little bit of enhancement by providing and extending the functionality of Dynamics SL with these utilities. The next item is just around the value-added tax module that we've developed. Back in 2000, as I said, the Australian government moved from wholesale tax to goods and services tax. So we needed to write that for our Australian and New Zealand customers, which we did do. On the completion of that, we also wrote the value-added tax, the VAT, for Europe and the United Kingdom, and we have implemented that now through Europe, in the Middle East, in Southeast Asia, in the Bahamas, for example. As these countries take on VAT, then our system is flexible enough to adapt globally for their requirements. So what we've done is to layer in over the top of the normal tax tables within Dynamics SL, so it does not impact or change any existing tax regimes or calculations required. We've just put the value-added tax boxes, as we call them, to gather the information from each of the transactions so that we can provide a summary for our government returns. So once again, using Crystal Info, we've built a number of reports, but today in the UK, you must submit your VAT return online, and we're using a third-party piece of software called Vital Tax to do that bridging of from our system to via an Excel spreadsheet to lodge it online. So that gives us the flexibility to meet the requirements for the UK in that regard. So that's basically my presentation. I really open it now to any questions, Michael.
That's fantastic, Colin. It basically you addressed the wish list of every suggestion or improvement I've heard people say they wanted in SL project over the years, plus really added the project management ability to allow us to manage those projects in one system. So just fantastic stuff. And many of our customers now have businesses in Europe and Canada, UK. So this allows, with this VAT tax addition, we can extend SL into those other countries as well and be compliant. So Cassie, do you see any questions in our chat?
Yeah, let me get some pulled up here. All right. Colin, you may have already touched on this, but just to reiterate it, what version of Dynamics SL can it be installed on?
Cassie, we can currently install on Dynamics SL 2011, 2015 and 2018. We're just working on 2018 at the moment, and probably will be available for from July 1 this year. But yes, so we can go through those three versions, Cassie.
Okay.
That's fantastic, because that the cost of an upgrade can be significant, and customers may not want to do that, but they could still add this functionality.
Correct. Right now, the majority of our customers are still on SL 2015. So yeah. we're just taking a few through to 2018 at the moment. Over.
All right. Another question was, can an employee have his or her task delegated to another employee?
In our manager assignment and delegation, it really only allows to operate from manager to manager. At a employee level, it really requires a manual substitution. If we found that there was a demand for that, we could certainly enhance our assignment and delegation to control down to an employee level. Over.
Great. And it looks like we have one more. If I install the Renown Estimating and Project Maintenance module over my existing Dynamics SL Project Series system, will I see my existing projects in the new project maintenance screen?
Yes. What will happen is that our screen will pick up the existing projects, and it will create the tree control on the left-hand side according to the project structure that exists in the existing system. So, old projects, current projects will appear in the new Renown project maintenance module, as well as new projects going forward. So the answer to that is yes.
Great. Was there anybody else on here? Those were the only three I saw out there.
Yeah, that's all I see.
I think, yeah, if you've got any questions, certainly push those questions through to Michael or myself. Our email accounts are up there, and we're only too happy to answer any questions that you may have. So, thanks, Michael.
We appreciate that, Colin. So this recording will be up on our website, and we'll get the sound recording fixed on that on the one we post. So that will be up there and complete. But Colin, you did a great job on the fly being able to narrate that for us. We appreciate that.
No worries.
All right. So unless there's any other questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up. And we appreciate everybody's time and attention today.